you are very particular. And is there a creature in the whole country but ourselves does not take a trip to town now and again to rub off the rust a little? Why, there's two Miss Hoggs and our neighbour, Mrs. Grigsby, go to take a month's polishing every winter.
And bring back vanity and affectation to last them the whole year. I wonder why London cannot keep its own fools at home. In my time, the follies of the town crept slowly among us, but now they travel faster than a motor car.
Ah, your times were fine times indeed. You've been telling us of them for many a long year. There we live, in an old rambling mansion that looks to all the world like an inn, but that we never see any company. Our best visitors are old Mrs. Oddfish, the curate's wife, and little Hobblefoot, the dancing master. And all our entertainment, your old stories of Prince Eugene and the Duke of Marlborough. Oh, I hate such old-fashioned trumpery.
I love it. I love everything that's old. Old friends, old times, old manners, old books, old wine. And I believe, Dorothy, you'll own that I've been pretty fond of an old wife.
No! Mr. Hardcastle, you're forever at your Dorothys and your old wives. You may be a Darby, but I'll be no Joan, I promise you. I'm not as old as you'd have me. Add 20 to 20 and make money of that.
Let me see, 20 added to 20 makes just 57.
I was but 20 when I was brought to bed of Tony, that I had by my first husband, Mr. Lumpkin. And he's not come to years of discretion yet.
I never will, I'll answer for him. Aye, you've taught him finely.
No matter. Tony Lumpkin has a good fortune. My boy is not to live by his learning. I don't think a boy needs much learning to spend 1,500 a year.
Learning, you say, a mere composition of tricks and mischief.
Oh, it's just humour, my dear. Nothing but humour. Come, Mr. Hardcastle, you must allow the boy a little humour.
Sooner allow him a horse pond.
Oh, and am I to blame? The poor boy was always too sickly to do any good. School would have been his death. When he comes to be a little stronger, who knows what a year or two's Latin might do for him.
Latin, you say? No, the alehouse and the stable are the only schools he'll ever go to.
Oh, well, we mustn't snub the poor boy now, for I fear we may not have him long among us. Anyone who looks at his face can see he's consumptive.
Aye, if growing too fat be one of the symptoms.
He coughs sometimes.
Aye, when his liquor goes down the wrong way.
I'm actually afraid for his lungs.
Yeah, and truly so am I, for sometimes he speaks like a whooping trumpet.
Sing on merrily on
Oh, there
high.
he goes.
Christmas, Christmas, Christmas.
Aye, a very consumptive figure too.
Tony! Where are you going to, my little charmer? Won't you give Papa and I a little of your company, love?
I'm in haste, Mother. I cannot stay.
Oh, you shan't venture out this raw evening. You look most shockingly.
I can't stay, Mother, I tell you. The 3 pigeons expects me down every moment. There's some fun going forward. It's Christmas Eve.
Aye, the alehouse, the old place. I
Low,
thought so.
a low, paltry set of fellows.
Not so low, neither. There's Dick Ginger, the bookie. Gertie Hedges, the haberdasher, Bet Bouncer that grinds the music box, oh, and Tom Twist that spins the pewter platter.
Oh, pray, couldn't you disappoint them just for one night at least?
As for disappointing them, I should not so much mind, but I cannot abide to disappoint myself.
Oh, you shan't go!
I will, I tell you!
I say you shan't!
Then we'll see which is fastest, you or I!
Come back here!
grace and discretion out of doors. There's my pretty darling daughter Kate. The fashions of the times have almost infected her too. By living a year or two in town, she has come to be as fond of French frippery as the best of them.
Bonjour, Papa.
Oh, blessings on my pretty innocence. Yet dressed out as usual then, Kate? Mm. Goodness, what a quantity of superfluous silk.
No agreement, sir. You allow me the morning to receive and pay visits and to dress in my own manner, and in the evening I put on my housewife's dress to please you.
Well, remember, I insist on the terms of our agreement. And by the by, I believe I shall have occasion to try your obedience this very evening.
I protest, sir, I don't comprehend your meaning.
Then, to be plain with you, Kate, I expect the young gentleman whom I have chosen to be your husband from town this very day. I have his father's letter in which he informs me he is set forth in a motor car and that he intends to follow himself by train shortly after.
Indeed? I wish I'd known something of this before. Bless me, how shall I behave? That's 1,000 to 1, I shan't like him. Our meeting will be so formal and so like a thing of business that I shall find no room for friendship or esteem.
Oh, depend upon it, child, I'll never control your choice. But young Mr. Marlowe, whom I have pitched upon, is the son of my old friend Sir Charles Marlowe, of whom you've heard me talk so often. The young gentleman has been bred a scholar and is designed for employment in the service of his country. I am told he's a man of an excellent understanding.
Is he?
Very generous.
I believe I shall like him.
Young, brave,
I am sure I shall like him.
and very handsome.
My dear Papa, say no more. He's mine, I'll have him.
And to crown all, Kate, he's one of the most bashful and reserved young fellows in all the world.
Ugh. Frozen me to death again. That word reserved has undone all the rest of his accomplishments. A reserved lover, it is said, always makes a suspicious husband.
On the contrary, modesty seldom resides in a breast that is not enriched with nobler virtues. It was the very feature in his character that first struck me.
Well, he must have more striking features to catch me, I promise you. However, if he be so young, so handsome, and so everything you mentioned, I believe he'll do still. I think I'll have him.
Aye, but there's still an obstacle, Kate. It's more than an even wager, he may not have you.
Oh, my dear Papa, why will you mortify one so? Well, if he refuses, rather than break my heart to his indifference, I'll only break my glass for its flattery, set my cap to some newer fashion, and look out for some less difficult admirer.
Bravely resolved. In the meantime, I'll go and instruct our butler on his reception. As we seldom see visitors, Diggory will want as much training as a company of recruits. First day's muster.
Lord! Oh, this news of Papa's puts me all in a flutter. Young and handsome. These he put last, but I put them foremost. Sensible, good-natured, I like all that. But then reserved and sheepish. That's much against him. Yet can't he be cured of his timidity by being taught to be proud of his wife? Yes, and can't I? But I vow I'm disposing of the husband before I have secured the lover. Merry Christmas! Oh, thank God you're come now, my dear. Tell me, Constance, how do I look this evening? Is there anything you're whimsical about me? Is it one of my well-looking days, child? Am I in face today?
Perfectly, my dear. Yet now I look again. Bless me! Sure no accident has happened among the canary birds or the goldfishes? Or has the last novel been too moving?
No, nothing of all this. I have been threatened. Oh, I can scarce get it out. I have been threatened with a lover.
And his name?
Here's Marlowe.
Indeed.
The son of Sir Charles Marlowe.
As I live! The most intimate friend of Mr. Hastings, my admirer. They never asunder. I believe you must have seen him when we lived in town.
Never.
Oh, he's a very singular character, I assure you. Among women of reputation and virtue, he is the modestest man alive. Yet his acquaintance gave him a very different character among creatures of another stamp. You understand me?
What an odd character indeed. I shall never be able to manage him. Think no more of him, but trust to occurrences for success. But how goes your own affair, my dear? Is my mother still courting you for my brother Tony, as usual?
Oh, I've just come from one of our agreeable tete-a-tetes. She has been saying 100 tender things and setting off her pretty monster Tony as the very pink of perfection.
Oh, the pink of perfection! And her partiality is such that she actually thinks him so. A fortune like yours is no small temptation. Besides, as she has the sole management of it, I'm not surprised to see her unwilling to let it go out of the family.
A fortune like mine, which chiefly consists in jewels, is no such mighty temptation. At any rate, if my dear Hastings be but constant, I make no doubt to be too hard for her at last. However, I let her suppose that I am in love with her son, and she never once dreams that my affections are fixed upon another.
My good brother holds out stoutly. I could almost love him for hating you so.
He is a good-natured creature at bottom, and I'm sure would wish to see me married to anybody but himself. Oh, but my aunt's bell rings for our afternoon's walk around the improvements. Along, courage is necessary, as our affairs are critical.
Was it my bedtime and all were well?
Bring me flesh and bring me wine, bring me pine logs hither. Thou and I shall see him dine when we bear them thither. Pagan honor for vagrants together. Through their fruitless parliament and the bitter weather.
Tony, please will you sing us a
No!
song? Please!
Neighbours! Silence for a song!
The squire is going to knock himself down for a song!
Then I'll sing you ladies a song I made upon this alehouse.
Right, Tony.
Three pigeons! Let schoolmasters puzzle their brain with grammar and nonsense and learning. Good liquor I stoutly maintain gives genius a better discerning. There's wisdom in whiskey pursued, and knowledge abounds in the Beano for students of beauty and truth. Remember, in veritas vino.
Toronto, Toronto, Toronto. Toronto, Toronto, Toronto. Where never found mine will find his close at Donald. Toronto, Toronto, Toronto.
When Methodist preachers come down, preaching that drinking is sinful, I'll wager the rascals a crown. They'll always preach best with a skinful. The Gospels would argue at least that Christ was himself a supporter, or else at the conjugal feast he'd have turned all the wine into wine.
Toronto, Toronto, Toronto. Toronto, Toronto, Toronto. Where men of good grace found the templars of struggle. Toronto, Toronto, Toronto.
Then come pass the bottle about, and let us be merry and clever. Our hearts and our liquors are stout. Here's the three jolly pigeons forever. And some cry up with up our hair. Your buskets, your ducks, and your widgeons, but of all the birds in the air. Here's a health to the three jolly pigeons.
Toronto, Toronto, Toronto. Toronto, Toronto, Toronto. Where men with their thirst get into their muddle, and women with wit have a husband to cuddle. It's off to the pigeons, they jolly well tunnel. Toronto,
nothing that's low.
Oh, damn anything that's low. I cannot bear it.
What a pity it is the squire is not coming to his own.
It would be well for all the publicans within 10 miles round of it.
And so it would, Master Landlord. I'd then show what it was to keep choice of company.
He takes after his old father for that.
To be sure, old Squire Lumpkin was the finest gentleman I ever set my eyes on. Never winding the string horn or beating a thicket for a hare or
A wench.
never had his fellow.
There was a saying in the place that he kept the best horses, dogs, and girls.
In the whole county.
When I'm of age, I'll be no bastard, I promise you.
He was been thinking of that dancer. And the miller's grey mare to begin with.
Come, neighbours, drink about and be merry, for you pay no reckoning.
Hey!
What's the matter?
There be two gentlemen at the door in a motor car.
They lost their way upon the forest and they are talking something about Mr. Hardcastle.
As sure as can be, one of them must be the gentleman that's come this way to court my sister, Kate. Do they seem to be Londoners?
I believe they may. They look woundily like Frenchmen.
Desire them to step this way, and I'll set them right in a twinkling. Neighbours, as they may be good enough company for you, step down for a moment, and I'll be with you in the squeezing of a lemon. Father-in-law has been calling me a whelp and hound this half year. Now, if I pleased, I could be so revenged upon the old Grumbletonian. But then, I'm afraid. Afraid of what? I shall soon be worth 1,500 a year. Let him frighten me out of that if he can.
Lord, your best be an order.
Indeed.
Hello!
What hell?
Tedious, uncomfortable day we've had of it. We were told it was but 40 miles across country. We've come above 60.
And all Marlowe from that unaccountable reserve of yours that would not let us inquire more frequently on the way.
I am Hastings. I am unwilling to lay myself under an obligation to everyone I meet. And often stand the chance of an unmanly answer.
At present, however, we are not likely to receive any answer.
Crumbs.
No offence, gentlemen, but I'm told you've been inquiring for one Mr. Hardcastle in these parts. Do you know what part of the country you're in?
Not in the least, sir. But should thank you for information.
Nor the way you came?
No, but if you could inform us.
Why, gentlemen, if you know neither the road you are going, nor where you are, nor the road you came, the first thing I have to inform you is that you have lost your way.
We wanted no ghost to tell us that.
Pray, gentlemen, may I be so bold as to ask the place from whence you
No,
came?
that is not necessary towards directing us where we are to go.
No offence, but question for question is all fair, you know. Pray, gentlemen, is not this same Hardcastle a cross-grained, old-fashioned, whimsical fellow with an ugly face, a daughter, and a pretty son?
We have not seen the gentleman, but he has the family you mentioned.
The daughter, a tall, traipsing, trolloping, talkative maypole. The son, a pretty, well-bred, agreeable youth that everybody is fond of.
No, our information differs a bit. The daughter is said to be well-bred and beautiful. The son, an awkward booby.
Booby!
Absolute booby. Reared up and spoiled with his mother's apron string.
Well then, gentlemen, all I have to tell you is that you won't reach Mr. Hardcastle's house this night, I believe.
Unfortunate!
It's a damned long, dark, foggy, dirty, dangerous way. Stingo, tell the gentleman here the way to Mr. Hardcastle's. Mr. Hardcastle of Quagmire Marsh, you understand me?
Master Hardcastle's. Lackadaisy, my masters, you've come a deadly deal wrong. When you came to the bottom of the hill, you should have crossed down Squash Lane.
I said Squash Lane.
He said Squash Lane.
Then you were to go straight forward till you came to 4 roads.
Come where 4 roads meet.
Aye, but you must be sure to take only one of them.
Just take one. Oh, sir, you are facetious.
Then, keeping to the right, you are to go sideways till you come upon Crack Skull Common. There, you must look sharp for the track of the wheel, and go forwards till you come to Farmer Moraine's barn. Coming to the farmer's barn, you are to turn to the right, and then to the left, and then to the right about again till you find out the old mill.
Dash it, man, we could have soon find out the longitude.
What's to be done, Marlowe?
This house promises but a poor reception. Though perhaps the landlord can accommodate us?
Alack, master, we not one spare bed in the whole house.
Don't you think, Stingo, the landlady could accommodate the gentleman by the fireside with 3 chairs and a bolster?
I hate sleeping by the fireside.
And I detest your 3 chairs and a bolster.
You do? Then let me see. Oh! What if you go on a mile further to the Roebuck? The old Roebuck on the hill, one of the best inns in the whole county.
Oh, ho! Sir! We have escaped an adventure for this night, however.
Tickety-tom!
Sure, you're not sending them to your fathers as an inn, be you?
Mum, you fool, let them find that out. You need only keep on straight forward till you come to a large old house by the roadside.
Roadside?
You'll see a pair of large horns over the door.
Horns!
That's the sign.
Sign.
Drive up the yard and call stoutly about you.
Stoutly, sir, we are obliged to you.
But I must tell you though, the landlord is rich, so he wants to be thought a gentleman, saving your presence. He'll be for giving you his company, and ecod, if you mind him, he'll persuade you that his mother was an alderman, and his aunt a justice of peace.
A troublesome old blade to be sure, but he keeps as good wines and beds as any in the whole county.
Well, if he supplies us with these, we shall want no further connection. Oh, we have to turn to the right, did you say?
No, straight forward. I'll just step myself and show you a piece of the way.
All right, take forward.
Mum.
Oh, bless your heart, for a sweet, pleasant, damn mischievous son of a whore.
Toronto, 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 Toronto. When men with a thirst get into their noddle, and women with wits have a husband to cuddle, it's off to the pigeons, say jolly well toddle. Toronto, Toronto, Toronto. Hey!
Well, Diggory, I hope you're perfect in the table exercises I've been teaching you these 3 days. You know your post, and you know your place, and can show that you have been used to being in good company.
Aye.
When company comes, you're not to pop out and stare, and then run back in again like a frightened rabbit in a warren. No! You, Diggory, whom I have taken from the barn, are to make a show at the side table, to place yourself behind my chair. Not to stand like that. You're a little too stiff indeed, but 'tis no great matter.
I learned to hold my hands this way when I was upon drill for the militia. And so,
You must not be so talkative. You must be all attention to the guests. You must hear us talk and not think of talking. You must see us drink and not think of drinking. You must see us eat and not think of eating.
by the Lord, your worship, that's perfectly impossible. But whenever Diggory sees eating going forward, He's always wishing for a mouthful himself.
Blockhead. It's not a bellyful in the kitchen as good as a bellyful in the parlour. Stay your stomach with that reflection.
Oh, by God, I thank your worship. I make a shift to stay my stomach with a slice of cold beef.
Diggory, you are too
Yes, of course.
talkative. And if I should happen to say something good or tell a good story, you must not burst out a laughing as if you made a part of the company.
By God, your worship must not tell the story of old Grouse in the gun room. I can't help laughing at that. I've laughed at that for 20 years.
The story is a good one. Well, Diggory, you may laugh at that. But still remember to be attentive. Suppose one of the company should call for a glass of wine. How would you behave? A glass of wine, sir, if you please. Why don't you move?
Oh God, I never have the courage till I sees the eatables and drinkables brought up on the table, and I must bold as a lion.
You numbskull. I find I must begin all over again. But don't I hear a car drive into the yard? To your post, you blockhead. I'll go in the meantime and give my friend's son a hearty reception at the gate.
Oh, by the 11th, my place has gone quite out of my head.
Well, let us find the horns of the railway. After the disappointments of the day, welcome once more, Charles, to the comforts of a clean room and a good fire. Upon my word, a very well-looking house. Antique, but creditable.
Well, the usual fate of a large mansion. Having first ruined the master by good housekeeping, and at last comes to levy contributions as an inn.
As you say, we passengers are to be taxed to pay all these fineries. I've often seen a good sideboard or a marble centrepiece, though not actually put in the bill, inflate a reckoning confoundedly.
Travellers, George, must pay in all places. The only difference is, in good inns, you pay dearly for luxuries. In bad inns, you're fleeced and starved.
You have lived pretty much among them. In truth, I've been often surprised that you, who have seen so much of the world, with your natural good sense and your many opportunities, could never yet acquire a requisite share of assurance.
The Englishman's malady. But tell me, George, where can I have learned that assurance you talk of? My life has been chiefly spent at a school, a college, or the inns of court, in seclusion from that lovely part of the creation that chiefly teach men confidence. I don't know that I was ever familiarly acquainted with a single modest woman, except my mother. But among females of another class, you know.
Oh, rather. Among them you were impudent enough of all conscience.
They're of us, you know.
But in the company of women of reputation, I never saw such an idiot. Such a trembler. You look for all the world as if you wanted an opportunity of stealing out of the room.
Why, man, that's because I do want to steal out of a room. Faith, I've often formed a resolution to break the ice and, rattle away at any rate. I don't know how. A single glance from a pair of fine eyes totally oversets my resolution. An impudent fellow may counterfeit modesty, but I'll be hanged if a modest man can have a counterfeit impudence.
If you could say but half the fine things to them that I've heard you lavish upon the barmaid of an inn, or even a college bedmate.
Why, George, I can't say fine things to them. They freeze. They petrify me. They may talk of a comet, or a burning mountain, or some such bagatelle, but to me, a modest woman dressed out in all her finery is the most tremendous object of the whole creation.
At this rate, man, how can you ever expect to marry?
Never. Unless, as among kings and princes, my bride would be courted by proxy. But to go through all the terrors of a formal courtship, together with the episode of aunts and grandmothers and cousins, and at last to blurt out the broad, staring question of... Madam, will you... I'm sorry. Madam, will you... No, I... Madam, will you...
Marry me!
No, I can't...
the young lady you were come down to visit at the request of your father?
As I behave to all other ladies. Bow very low, answer yes or no to all her demands. But for the rest, I don't think I shall venture to look in her face.
I'm surprised that one who is so warm a friend can be so cool a lover.
My dear Hastings, my chief inducement down was to be instrumental in forwarding your happiness, not my own. Miss Neville loves you. The family don't know you. As my friend, you're sure of a reception, and let honour do the rest.
Oh, my dear Marlowe. But I'll suppress the emotion. Miss Neville's person is all I ask, and that is mine, both from her deceased father's consent and her own inclination.
Happy man. You have talents and art to captivate any woman. This stammer in my address and this awkward, unprepossessing visage of mine can never permit me to soar above the reach of a milliner's apprentice. Or one of the duchesses of Drury Lane, a Datchet's landlord here to interrupt.
Gentlemen, once more you are heartily welcome. Which is Mr. Marlowe?
Hello.
Sir, you are heartily welcome. I like to give my friends a hearty reception at the gate in the old style. I like to see their trunks taken care of.
Topping landlord, he's got our names from the servants already. We approve your caution and your hospitality, sir. I've been thinking, George, of changing our travelling dresses in the morning. I'm very confoundedly ashamed of mine.
Mr. Marlowe, I beg you use no ceremony in this house.
I fancy, Charles, you're right. The first blow is half the battle. I intend opening the campaign with the white and gold.
Oh, Mr. Marlowe, Mr.
Hastings,
pray be under no constraint in this house. This is Liberty Hall, gentlemen. You may do just as you please here.
Yet, George, if we have the campaign this thing first, we may want ammunition before it is over. I suggest to reserve the embroidery to secure a retreat.
You were talking of a retreat, Mr. Marlowe. Puts me in mind of the Duke of Marlborough when he went to besiege Denain. First he summoned the garrison.
Don't you think the Ventre d'Orway's
First he summoned the garrison, which might consist
I
of
think
about
not.
5,000
Brown and
men.
yellow.
I think it's very poorly. First he summoned the garrison.
Girls like finery, they
Which
do.
might consist of about 5,000 men, well appointed with stores and ammunition and other instruments of war. Now, says the Duke of Wellington to George Brooks, who stood next to him, you must have heard of George Brooks. Horn my dukedom, says he, but I'll take that garrison without spilling a drop of blood.
Well, my good friend, if you gave us a glass of punch in the meantime, you can help us to carry on the siege with vigour.
Punch.
Yes, sir. Punch. A glass of warm punch after our journey will be comfortable. This is Liberty Hall, you know.
Here's cup, sir. I hope it is to your mind. I prepared it with my own hands, and I believe you'll find the ingredients tolerable. Oh, will you be so good as to... Will you be so good as to pledge me, sir? Here, Mr. Marlowe. Here's to our better acquaintance.
A very impudent fellow, yes, but he's a character, and I'll humour him a little. Sir, my service to you. Tinkety-tonk!
Tinkety-tonk! I see this fellow wants to give us his company and forgets he is an innkeeper before he has learned to be a gentleman. So, you'll lead a good, pleasant, bustling life of it?
I do stir about a great deal. That's certain. Half the differences in the parish are adjusted in this very parlour.
And you have an argument in your cup, old gentleman. It's better than any in Westminster Hall.
That's true, young gentleman. That and a little philosophy.
So then, like an experienced general, you attack them on every quarter. If you find their reason manageable, you attack it with your philosophy. And if you find they have no reason, you attack them with this.
Oh, yes, that's very good. Your generalship puts me in mind of Prince Eugene when he fought the Turks at the Battle of Belgrade.
Instead of the Battle of Belgrade, I think it's almost time to talk about supper. What has your philosophy got in the house for supper?
Was ever such a request made to a man in his own house?
Yes, sir, supper supper, sir. I begin to feel an appetite. I shall make devilish work tonight in the larder, I promise you.
Such a brazen dog, sure, never my eyes beheld. Why, as for supper, sir, I can't well tell. My Dorothy and the cook maid settle these things between them. I leave these kind of things entirely to them.
You do you?
Entirely. By the by, I believe they are in actual consultation upon what's for supper this moment in the kitchen.
When I travel, I always choose to regulate my own supper. Let the cook be called, no offence, I hope so.
Oh, no, sir, none at all, but I don't know how. Our Bridget, the cook maid, is not very communicative. Should we send for her, she might scold us all out of the house.
Well, let's see your list of the larder then. I ask it as a favour. I always match my appetite to my bill of fare.
Sir, he's very right, and it's my way too.
You have a right to command here. Here, Diggory, bring the bill of fare for tonight's supper. I believe it is drawn out. Your manner, Mr. Hastings, puts me in mind of my uncle, Colonel Wallop. It was a saying of his that no man can be sure of his supper until he has eaten it.
What's here? Thank you. For the first court, for the second court, for the dessert. The devil, sir. Do you think we brought down the whole joiners' company or the alderman of Richmond to eat up such a supper? 2 or 3 little things clean and comfortable will do.
But let's hear it.
For the first course, at the top, a pig's face and prune sauce.
Damn your pig's face, I say!
Damn your prune sauce, I
Their impudence confounds me. Gentlemen, you are my guest. Make what adjustments you please.
Item, a pork pie, a boiled rabbit and sausages, a Florentine, a shaking pudding, and a dish of tiff-taff to have to cream.
Oh, confound your made dishes! I'm for plain eating!
I'm sorry I have nothing you like, gentlemen, but if there be anything you have a particular fancy
Well, I really
to-
say your bill of fare is so exquisite that any one part of it is full as good as another. Send us what you please. So much for supper. And now to see that our beds are aired and properly taken care of.
I entreat that you leave all that to me, sir. You shall not stir a step.
Leave that to you? I protest, sir, you must excuse me. I always look to these things myself.
I must insist, sir, that you make yourself easy on that head.
You see, I am resolved on it.
Well, I'm resolved at least to attend you. This may be modern modesty, but I never saw anything look so like old-fashioned impudence.
So, I find this fellow's civilities begin to grow troublesome.
Golly!
Gosh! Miss Neville! By all that's happy!
My dear Hastings! To what unexpected good fortune? To what accident am I to ascribe this happy meeting?
Rather let me ask the same question, for I could never have hoped to meet my dearest Constance at an inn.
An inn? Sure you mistake. My aunt, my guardian, lives here. What could induce you to think this house an inn?
My friend, Mr. Marlowe, with whom I came down, and I have been sent here as to an inn, I assure you. A young fellow we accidentally met at a public house hard by directed us hither.
Certainly. It must be one of my hopeful cousin Tony's tricks, of whom you have heard me talk so often.
He whom your aunt intends for you.
Oh.
He of whom I have such just apprehensions.
You have nothing to fear from him, I assure you. You'd adore him if you knew how heartily he despises me. My aunt knows it too, and has undertaken to court me for him, and actually begins to think that she has made a conquest.
Thou dear dissembler! Though I must tell you, my dear Constance, I have just seized the happy opportunity of my friend's visit here to get admittance into the family. If my dearest Constance will trust in her faithful Hastings, we shall soon be landed in France, where the laws of marriage are respected.
I should leave my little fortune behind with reluctance. The greatest part of it was left me by my uncle, the India director, and chiefly consists in jewels. I have been, for some time, persuading my aunt to let me wear them. I fancy I'm very near succeeding. The instant they're put into my possession, you shall find me ready to make them and myself yours.
Oh, perish the baubles! Your person is all I desire! In the meantime, my friend Marlowe must not be let into his mistake. I know the strange reserve of his temper is such that if abruptly informed of it, he would instantly quit the house before our plan was ripe for execution.
Oh, but how shall we keep him in the deception? Miss Hardcastle has just returned from walking. What if we still continue to deceive him?
Ah, my dear Charles! The most fortunate accident. Let me congratulate you. Who do you think is just alighted at this inn?
Cannot guess.
Our mistress's boy, Miss Hardcastle and Miss Neville.
Hello, hello.
Give me leave to introduce Miss Constance Neville to your acquaintance. To dine in the neighbourhood, they called on their return for some refreshment. Miss Hardcastle has just slipped into the next bar and will be back in an instant. Wasn't it lucky?
Oh. Yes. Very fortunate. Most joyful encounter. But our dresses, George, you know, are in disorder. What if we should postpone the happiness till tomorrow? Tomorrow, at our own house, it'll be ever as convenient and rather more respectful. Tomorrow, let it be.
By no means, sir. Your ceremony will displease her. The disorder of your dress will show the ardour of your impatience. Besides, she knows you are in the house, and will permit you to see her.
Oh, hang it all. How shall I support it? No, Hastings, you must not go. You are to assist me, you know. I shall be confounded and ridiculous.
Miss Hardcastle. Mr. Marlowe. I am pleased to introduce two persons of such merit that only want to know to inform each other.
Now for meeting my modest gentleman with a demure face and quite in his own manner. I am glad of your safe arrival, sir. I am told you had some accidents on the way.
Only a few, madam. Yes, we had some. Yes, madam, a good many accidents, but you should be sorry. Rather glad. Any accidents that must agreeably concluded.
You never spoke better in your whole life. Keep it up and I'll ensure you the victory.
I'm afraid you flatter, sir. You that have seen so much of the finest company to find little entertainment in an obscure corner of the country.
I have lived, indeed, in the world, madam. But I've kept very little company. I've been but an observer upon life, madam, while others were enjoying it.
But that, I'm told, is the way to enjoy it at last.
Cicero never spoke better. Once more, and you will be confirmed in assurance forever.
Stand by me then, and when I am down, throw in a word or two to set me up again.
An observer like you upon life were, I fear, disagreeably employed, since you must have had much more to censure than to approve.
Pardon me, madam. The folly of most people is rather an object of mirth than uneasiness.
Bravo! Bravo! You never spoke better in your whole life! Well, Miss Hardcastle, I can see that you and Mr. Marlowe are going to be very good company. I believe our being here will but embarrass the interview.
No, not in the least, Mr. Hastings. We like your company of all things. Dash it, George, sure you won't go. How can you leave us?
Being here will but spoil conversation, so we'll retire to the next room. You don't consider, man, that we have to manage a little tete-a-tete of our own.
You've not been wholly an observer, I presume, sir. The ladies, I should hope, have employed some part of your addresses.
Pardon me, madam. I as yet have studied only to deserve them.
And that, some say, is the very worst way to obtain them.
Perhaps so, madam, but I love to converse only with the more grave and sensible part of the sex. But I'm afraid
There is nothing I like so much as grave conversation myself. I could hear it forever. Indeed, I have often been surprised how a man of sentiment could ever admire those light, airy nothing reaches the heart?
It's a disease of the mind, madam. In the variety of taste, there must be some who are wanting to relish.
I understand you, sir. There must be some who, wanting a relish for refined pleasures, pretend to despise what they are incapable of tasting.
My meaning, madam. But infinitely better expressed. And I can't help observing...
You're going to observe, sir?
I was observing, madam. I protest, madam, I forget what I was going to observe.
Observing in this age of hypocrisy. Something about hypocrisy, sir.
Yes, madam. In this age of hypocrisy, there are few who, upon strict inquiry, do not,
I understand you perfectly, sir.
Sorry, that's more than I do myself.
I say that in this hypocritical age, there are very few who do not condemn in public what they practice in private, and think they pay every debt to virtue when they praise it.
True, madam. Those who have most virtue in their mouths have least of it in their bosoms. I'm sure I
There is something so agreeable and unspirited in your manner, such life and force. Pray, sir, go on!
Yes, madam. I was saying that there are some occasions, madam, when a temperament of courage destroys all the... and puts us upon a...
I agree with you entirely. A want of courage upon some occasions assumes the appearance of ignorance and betrays us when we most want to excel. I beg you'll proceed.
Yes, madam. Morally speaking, madam. Ah, but I see Miss Neville expecting us there in the next room. Hello. I will not intrude for the world.
I protest I never was more agreeably entertained in all my life. Pray, go on.
Yes, madam. I was... Ah, but she beckons us to join her. Madam, shall I do myself the honour to, attend you?
Well, then I'll follow.
This pretty smooth dialogue is done for me.
Was there ever a more sober, sentimental interview? I'm certain he scarce looked in my face the whole time. Yet the fellow, but for his unaccountable bashfulness, is pretty well, too. He has good sense, and yet so buried in his fears that it fatigues one more than ignorance. If I could teach him a little confidence, he would be doing somebody I know a piece of service, but who is that somebody? That, Faith, is a question I can scarce answer.
What do you follow me for, Cousin Con? I wonder you're not ashamed to be so very engaging.
I hope, cousin, one may speak to one's own relations and not be to blame.
I know what sort of a relation you want to make me, though. But it won't do. I tell you, Cousin Con, it won't do. So I beg you'll keep your distance. I want no nearer relationship.
There we go! You're a natural, Mrs. Hardcastle!
Oh, mistake! You are very entertaining. Oh, there is nothing in the world I love to talk of more than London and the fashion. Though I was never there myself.
Never there? You amaze me. I'd have thought you had been bred in St. James's all your life.
Oh, sir! You are only pleased to say so.
Not at all.
I love the town, and that serves to raise me above some of our neighbouring rustics. But who can have a manor who has never seen the places that nobility chiefly resort? I can only enjoy London at second hand. I take care to read all the tete-a-tetes in the scandalous magazines. Pray, how do you like this head, Mr. Hastings?
Extremely elegant and dégagé. Oh, my word, madam. Your frisure is a Frenchman, I suppose.
I protest I dressed it myself from a print in the latest memorandum book for last year.
Indeed! Such a head in a side box at the Playhouse would draw as many gazers as my Lady Mayoress at a city ball.
Oh. Yet what signifies my dressing up when I have such a piece of antiquity by my side as Mr. Hardcastle?
Your age, madam, you may wear what you please, and it must become you.
Wait, Mr. Hastings, what do you take to be the most fashionable age about town?
Some time ago, 40 was all the mode. But I'm told the ladies intend to bring up to 50 for the ensuing winter.
Seriously? Oh, then I should be too young for the fire.
No lady now begins to put on jewels till she's past 40. For instance, Miss there, in polite circles, would be considered as a child, a mere maker of samplers.
And yet Mrs. Niece thinks herself as much a woman and is as fond of jewels as the oldest of us all.
Your niece, is she? And this young gentleman a brother of yours, I should presume?
My son, sir. They are contracted to each other. Observe their little sports. They fall in and out of love 10 times a day as if they were mad and wife already. Well, Tony, what soft things are you saying to your cousin Constance this evening?
I have been saying no soft things, but that it's very hard to be followed about so. Egad, I've not a place in the house now that's left to myself but the stable.
Ah, he's a sly one. Don't you think they're like each other about the mouth? It's the blinking something mouth to a T. Oh, and they've got the same eyes too. Come, my pretties. Cheek to cheek that Mr. Hastings might see. Come, Tony.
You should not make me, I tell you.
Ow! Tony! For shame, Tony. You a man and behave so.
If I'm a man, let me have my fortune! By God, I'll not be made a fool of no longer.
Is this ungrateful boy all I'm to get for the pains I've took in your education? I that have rocked you in your cradle and fed that pretty mouth with a spoon. Did I not prescribe you medicines every day and weep as the remedies was operating?
Well, you had reason to weep, for you have been dosing me ever since I was born. But by God, I'll not be made a fool of no longer.
Wasn't it all for your own good, Viper? Wasn't it all for your own good?
Well, I wish you'd let me in my good alone then. Snubbing me like this when I'm in spirits.
That's false. I've never seen you when you're in spirits. Oh, no, Tony, then you're off to the alehouse or the kennel. I'd never get to be delighted by your agreeable wild notes. Unfeeling monster.
Mother, your own notes are the wildest of the two.
Was ever the like? Oh, but I see he wants to break my heart. I see he does.
Dearest madam, permit me to lecture the gentleman a little. I'm sure I can persuade him to his duty.
Oh, I must retire. Come, Constance, my love. Oh, you see, Mr. Hastings, the wretchedness of my situation. Was ever poor woman so plagued with a sweet, dear, pretty, provoking, undutiful boy?
Never mind her. Let her cry. It's the comfort of her heart. I have seen her and sister cry over a book for an hour together, and they said they liked the book the better, the more it made them cry.
So then I find you're no friend to the ladies, my pretty young gentleman.
Says I find it.
Not to her of your mother's choosing, I dare answer. And yet to me she appears a pretty well-tempered girl.
That's because you don't know her as well as I. Ecod, I know every inch about her. And there's not a more bitter cantankerous toad in all Christendom.
To me she appears sensible and silent.
Aye, before company, but when she's with her playmates, she's as loud as a hog in a gate.
But there's a modesty about her that charms me.
Yes, but curb her never so little, she kicks up and you're flung in a ditch.
Well, we must allow her a little beauty.
Bandbox! She's all a made-up thing, man! Ah, could you but see Bet Bouncer in these parts, you might then talk of beauty. Woo! My God, she's got 2 eyes as black as sloes, and her cheeks are as broad and red as a pulpit cushion.
Well, what say you to a friend that would take this bitter bargain off your hands?
And on?
Would you thank him that would take Miss Neville and leave you to happiness and your dear Betsy?
Aye, but where is there such a friend? For who would take her?
I am he! If you but assist me, I'll engage to whip her off to France and you'll never hear more of her.
Assist you? By God I will! To the last drop of my blood! And maybe get you a part of her fortune besides in jewels that you little dream of.
My dear squire, this looks like a lad of spirit.
Come along then, and I'll show you more of my spirits before you've done with me. We are the boys that fears no noise, where the thundering cannons roar.
Oh, we are the boys that fears no noise, where the thundering cannons roar.
We are the boys that fears no noise, where the
Could my old friend Sir Charles mean by recommending his son as the modestest young man in town? To me, he appears the most impudent piece of brass that ever spoke his tongue. He's taken possession of my easy chair, took off his boots, and desired me to see them taken care of. I'm desirous to know how his impudence affects my daughter. She will certainly be shocked at it.
Hello, Father.
Well, Kate, I see you changed your dress as I bid you to, although I believe there was no great occasion.
I find such a pleasure, sir, in obeying your commands that I take care to observe them without ever debating their propriety.
I do sometimes give you some cause, particularly when I recommend my modest young man to you as a lover today.
You taught me to expect something extraordinary, and I find the original exceeds the description.
I never was so surprised in my life. He's quite confounded all my faculties.
I never saw anything like it, and a man of the world, too. That timid look, that awkward address, that bashful manner.
Whose look? Whose manner? Child?
Mr. Marlowe's. His timidity struck me at the first sight.
Then your first sight deceived you. For I think him one of the most brazen first sights that ever astonished my senses.
I never saw anyone so modest.
I never saw such a bouncing, swaggering puppy since I was born.
Surprising. He met me with a respectful bow, a stammering voice, and a look fixed on the ground.
He met me with a loud voice, a lordly air, and a familiarity that froze me to death.
He treated me with diffidence and respect, censured the manners of the age, and tired me with apologies for being tiresome.
He spoke to me as if he'd known me all his life before, interrupted my best remarks with some strange and when I was in my best story of the Duke of Marlborough, he asked if I had not a good hand at making punch.
Let me ask my
certainly be mistaken.
Well, if he be what he has shown himself, I'm determined he shall never have my consent.
If he be the sullen thing I take him, he shall never have mine.
In one thing, then, we're agreed. To reject him.
Yes. Yes. But upon conditions, for if you should find him less impudent and I more, presuming, if you found him more respectful and I more importunate, I don't know, Papa. The fellow is well enough for a man. Certainly we don't meet many such at a horse race in the country.
Aye, when a girl finds the fellows outside to her taste, she then sets about guessing the rest of his furniture.
I hope so a conversation begun with a compliment to my good sex won't end with a sneer at my understanding.
Pardon me, Kate, but if young Mr. Brazen can find the art of reconciling contradictions, he may please us both, perhaps.
And as one of us must be mistaken, what if we go to make further discoveries?
Agreed. But dependant, I'm in the right.
Yeah, and dependant, I'm not much in the wrong.
Ecod, I've got them! My cousin Con's necklaces, bobs and all! My mother shan't cheat the poor souls out of their fortune, neither. Ah, my Judas, is that you?
My dear friend! How have you managed with your mother? I hope you have amused her with pretending love for your cousin and that we will soon be reconciled at last. We shall soon be ready to set off.
And here's something to bear your charges, by the way.
Thank you.
Your sweetheart's jewels!
How have you procured them from your mother?
Ask me no questions, and I'll tell you no fibs. If I had not a key to every drawer in my mother's bureau, how could I go to the alehouse so often as I do? An honest man may rob himself of his own at any time.
Thousands do it every day. But to be plain with you, Miss Neville is endeavouring to procure them from her aunt this very instant.
Well, keep them till you know how it will be. But I know how it will be well enough. She'd as soon part with the only sound tooth in her head.
But I dread the resentment that she will face in her eyes when she finds she has lost them.
Well, never you mind her resentment. Leave me to manage that.
Dear.
Great Scott, here they are.
Indeed, Constance, you amaze me. A girl such as you want jewels. It will be time enough for jewels, my dear, 20 years hence, when your beauty begins to want repairs.
But what will repair beauty in the 40s will certainly improve it in the 20s, madam.
Yours, my dear, can admit of none. That natural blush is beyond 1,000 ornaments.
But who knows, madam, that somebody who shall be nameless would like me best with all my little finery about me.
Consult your glass, then see if with such a pair of eyes you want any better sparklers.
My dear aunt, if you knew how it would oblige me.
Besides, I don't believe I can readily come at them. They may be missing for aught I know to the contrary.
Then why don't you tell her so at once, as she's so longing for them? Tell her they're lost. It's the only way to quiet her. Say they're lost and call me to bear witness.
No, my dear, I'm only keeping them for you. So, you're saying if I say they're gone, you'll bear me witness, will you?
Never fear me. I'll say I saw them taken out with my own eyes.
I desire them but for a day, madam. But for Christmas Eve.
To be plain with you, my dear Constance, if I could find them, you should have them. They're missing, I assure you. Lost for aught I know.
I'll not believe it. 'Tis but a shallow pretence to deny me. I know they're too valuable to be so slightly kept.
Well, my son knows that they're missing and not to be found.
That I can bear witness to. They are missing and not to be found.
You must learn resignation, my dear. For though we may lose our fortunes, yet we should not lose our patience. See me, how calm I am.
Aye, people are generally come at the misfortune of others.
I wonder a girl of your good sense should waste a thought upon such trumpery. We shall soon find them, and in the meantime, you shall make use of my garnets.
I detest garnets!
Oh, they're the most becoming things in the world to set off a clear complexion. You've often seen how well they look upon me. You shall have them.
I dislike them of all things! Oh! Was ever anything so provoking to mislay my own jewels and to force me to wear her trumpery?
Don't be a fool. If she gives you the garnets, take what you can get. The jewels are your own already. I have stolen them out of her bureau, and she does not know it. Fly to your spark, he'll tell you more of the matter. Leave me to manage her. Vanish, she's here and has missed them already. Lord, how she hinges and spits about like a Catherine wheel.
Numbers! We are plundered, broke open, undone.
What's the matter, Mother? I hope nothing has happened to any of the good family.
We are robbed. My bureau is broke open, the jewels taken out, and I am undone.
Oh, is that all? By the laws, I never saw it better acted in my life. By God, I thought you was ruined in earnest.
My boy, I am ruined in earnest. My bureau's broke open and all taken away.
Stick to that. Stick to that. I'll bear witness, you know. Call me to bear witness.
I tell you, Tony, by all that's precious, the jewels are gone and I am ruined forever.
Sure, I know they're gone, and I am to say so.
Was there ever such a blockhead? I can't tell the difference between jest and earnest. I tell you, Tony, I am not in jest. Booby!
That's right. That's right. You must be in a bitter passion! And then nobody will suspect either of us. I'll bear witness that they are gone!
My poor niece. What will become of her? Do you laugh, you unfeeling brute, as if you were enjoying my distress?
I can bear witness to that.
Insult me, monster. I'll show you. To vex your mother, I will.
I can bear witness to that.
Come here.
What an unaccountable creature is that brother of mine to send them to the house as an inn? I don't wonder at Marlowe's impudence. But the cook tells me that when I passed by in my present dress, he mistook me for the barmaid. So, as I live, I am resolved to keep up the delusion. I am sure he does not remember my face or person, for though we spoke for some time together, yet his fears were such that he never once looked up during the interview. In the first place, I shall be seen, and that is no small advantage to a girl who brings her face to market. Then I shall perhaps make an acquaintance, and that is no small victory gained over one who never addresses any but the wildest of her sex. But my chief aim is to take my gentleman off his guard and, like an invisible champion of romance, assess the giant's force before I offer to combat. Now, to act my part and disguise my voice, for he has already mistaken my person. I think I have got the true bar cant. Last orders at the bar, you lads! Pipes and tobacco for the angel. The lamb has been outrageous this half hour.
What a bawling in every part of the house. I've scarce a moment's repose. If I go to the best room, there I find my host and his story. If I fly to the gallery, there we have my hostess with her curtsy down to the ground. I have at last got a moment to myself, and now for recollection.
Did you call, sir? Did your honor call?
As for Miss Hart, Hardcastle. She's too grave and sentimental for me.
Did Your Honour call?
No, child. Besides, from the glimpse I had of her, I think she squints.
I am sure, sir, I heard the bell ring.
No. I have pleased my father, however, by coming down, and I'll tomorrow please myself by returning.
Perhaps the other gentleman called, sir.
I tell you, no.
I should be pleased to know, sir. Whoops, we have such a parcel of servants.
No, I tell you, yes. Yes, I think I did call. I vow you are vastly handsome.
I'm quite ashamed.
Never saw a more sprightly, malicious eye. Yes, my dear. I did call. Have you got any of your, whatchamacallit in the house?
No, sir, we have been out of that these 10 days.
What may call in this house I find to very little purpose. Suppose I should call for a taste, just by way of trial, of the nectar of your lips. Perhaps I might be disappointed in that too.
Nectar. Nectar. That's a liquor there's no call for in these parts. French, I suppose. We keep no French wines here, sir.
True English growth, I assure you.
Then it's odd I should not know it. We brew all sorts of wines in this house, and I have lived here these 18 years.
18 years? Why? One would think, child, you kept the bar before you were born. How old are you?
Oh, now, sir, I must not tell my age. They say that women and music must never be dated.
To guess at this distance, you can't be much above 40. Yet nearer, I don't think so much. By coming close to some women, they say they look younger still, but if we come very close indeed...
Pray, sir, keep your distance. One would think you wanted to know one's age as they do horses, by Markham Mouth.
I protest, child, you use me extremely ill. If you keep me at this distance, how is it possible you and I can be ever acquainted?
And who wants to be acquainted with you? I want no such acquaintance, not I. I am sure you did not treat that Miss Hardcastle that was here a while ago in this obstropolous manner. All were me before her, you look dashed.
Polly, she's hit it sure enough. In awe of her? No. Oh, a mere awkward, squinting thing. I find you don't know me. I laughed and I rallied her a little, but I was unwilling to be too severe. No, I could not be too severe, curse me.
Oh, then you are a favourite, I find, among the ladies.
Yes, my dear. A great favourite. And yet, hang me up, I don't see what they find me to follow. At the ladies' club in town, I'm called their agreeable Rattle. Rattle, my dear, is not my real name. It's what I'm known by. My name is Mr. Tree. Mr. Tree, my dear, your service.
Now hold, sir. You're introducing me to your club, not to yourself. And you're so great a favourite there, you say?
Yes, my dear. There's Mrs. Mantrap, Lady Betty Blackleg, the Countess of Sligo, Mrs. Longhorns, old Miss Biddy Buckskin, and your humble servant. Keep up the spirit of the place.
Oh, then it's a very merry place, I suppose.
Oh, yes, my dear, as merry as cards, suppers, wine, and old women can make it.
And their agreeable Rattle.
Crumbs, I don't quite like this chit. She looks knowing, methinks. You laugh.
Oh, I can't help but laugh to think what time they must all have for minding their needlework or their families.
All's well, she don't laugh at me. Do you ever embroider, Charlie?
Why, sure. There's not a screen or a quilt in this whole house.
Righto. Then you must show me your embroidery. I embroider. And draw patterns myself a little. If you want to judge of your needlework, you must apply to me.
Aye, but the colour
colours don't look well by candlelight. You shall see all in the morning.
And why not now, Angel? Such beauty fires me beyond the powers of resistance. Dash it, the landlord. My old luck. Hello.
So this is your modest lover, your humble admirer that kept his eyes fixed on the ground and only adored at a humble distance. Oh, Kate, Kate, art thou not ashamed to deceive thy father so?
Never trust me, dear Papa. For he's still the modest man I first took him for. You will be convinced of it as well as I.
By the hand of my body, I believe his impudence is infectious. Did I not see him haul you about like a milkmaid?
If I could surely convince you of his modesty, I hope you'll forgive him.
He's been in this house scarcely 3 hours, and already he's taken over all my prerogatives. You may like his impudence and call it modesty, but my son-in-law, madam, must have very different qualifications.
Sir, I ask but this night to convince you.
You shall not have half the time, for I have thoughts of turning him out this very hour.
Give me that hour then, and I hope to satisfy you.
Well, an hour let it be then. But I'll have no trifling with your father. All fair and open. Do you mind me?
I hope, sir, you have ever found that I considered your commands as my pride. For your kindness is such that my duty, as yet, has been inclination.
Dinner! I'm in the pot.
expected here this night?
You may depend on it. He intended on setting out a few hours after his son.
Then, my dearest Constance, all must be completed before he arrives. He knows me, and should he find me here, would reveal my name and perhaps my designs to the rest of the family.
The jewels, I hope, are safe.
Yes, yes. I have sent them to Marlowe, who keeps the keys of our motor. In the meantime, I'll go to prepare matters for our elopement.
Oh. Well, success attend you. In the meantime, I'll go amuse my aunt with the old pretense of a violent passion for my cousin.
What Hastings could mean by sending me so valuable a thing as a casket to keep with him, when he knows the only place I have is the seat of a motor car at the inn door? Ah, Diggory! Diggory! Have you deposited the casket with the landlady as I ordered you? Have you put it in your own hands?
Yes, no.
She said she'd keep it safe, did she?
Yeah, she keep it safe enough. She asked me how I'd come by it. Said that she had a great mind to make me give an account of myself.
Righto, Diggory. They're safe, however. What an unaccountable set of beings we've got amongst. This barmaid, though, runs in my head most strangely and drives out the absurdities of all the rest of the family. She's mine. She must be mine, or I'm greatly mistaken. Oh, no.
Bless me! I quite forgot. I quite forgot to tell Constance, the lady I was dancing with, I quite forgot to tell Constance that I intended to meet her at the bottom of the garden. Marlowe here, and in spirits. What-o?
Give me joy, George! Crown me, shadow me with laurels. Well, George, after all, we modest fellows don't want for success among the women.
Some women, you mean? But what success has your honour's modesty been crowned with now that it grows so insolent upon us?
Did you not see the tempting, brisk, lovely thing that runs about the house with a bunch of keys to her girdle?
Well, and what then?
Ah, she's mine, you rogue. Such fire, such motion, such eyes, such lips. Dash it, she wouldn't let you kiss them, though.
But are you so sure? So very sure of her?
I'm mad, she talked of showing me her embroidery above stairs.
Good
And I am to improve the brand.
But I believe the girl has virtue.
And if she has, I should be the last man in the world who takes corruption.
You have taken care, I hope, of the casket I sent you to lock up? It's in safety?
Yes, it's safe enough. I have taken care of it. But how did you think the seat of a car is an indoor place of safety, you prune? I have taken better precautions for you than you did for yourself.
What?
I have sent it to the landlady to keep for you. Landlady.
You did?
I did. She's to be answerable for its forthcoming, you know.
Yes, she'll bring it forth with a witness.
You seem a little disconcerted, though, methinks. Sure nothing has happened.
No, nothing. Never was in better spirits in all my life.
Very good.
You gave it to the landlady, who no doubt very readily undertook the charge.
Yeah, rather too readily. For she not only kept the casket, but through a great precaution was going to keep the messenger too.
They're safe, however.
As a guinea in a miser's purse.
So now all hopes of fortune are at an end, and we must set off without it. Well, Charles, I'll leave you to your meditations of your pretty barmaid, and may you be as successful for yourself as you have been for me.
Thank you, George. I ask no more.
I no longer know my own house. It's turned all topsy-turvy. I'll bear it no longer. Yet from my respect for his father, I'll be calm. Mr. Marlowe, I am yours. And your very humble servant.
Sir, your humble servant. What's to be the wonder now?
I believe, sir, you must be sensible, sir, that no man alive ought to be more welcome than your father's son, sir. I hope you think so.
I do. From my soul, sir. I don't want much entreaty. I generally make my father's son welcome wherever he goes.
Zoons! Mr. Marlowe, I have submitted to your insolence for more than 4 hours, and I see no likelihood of its coming to an end. I am resolved now to be master here, and so I desire that you leave my house directly.
Your house? Sure you jest, my good friend. What? When I'm doing what I can to please you?
I tell you, sir, you don't please me, and so I desire that you leave my house.
Sure you cannot be serious. At this time of night, and such a night. You only mean to banter me.
I tell you, sir, I'm serious, and as my passion is aroused, I say, this house is mine, sir! This house is mine! And I command you to leave it directly!
Puddle in a storm, I shan't stir a step, I assure you. This, your house, fellow, is my house! This is my house! Mine will I choose to stay! What right have you to bid me to leave this house, sir? I have never met with such impudence, curse me! Never in my whole life before!
Nor I, confound me, if ever I did, to come to my house to call for what he likes, to take possession of my easy chair, to insult my family, and then to tell me this house is mine, sir! By all that's impudent, it makes me laugh! As you take the house, what think you of taking the rest of the furniture? The Christmas presents. Star of David, Wheel of Stilton, perhaps you may take a fancy to that.
Bring me your bill, sir, bring me your bill, and let's make no more words about it, eh?
The jigsaw puzzle. No, which would teach me.
Bring me your bill, I say, bring me your bill, and let's hear no... I'll leave you and your infernal house directly.
Then there's a mahogany table which you may see your face in.
My bill, I say.
Oh, I had forgot the great chair. For your particular slumbers after a hearty meal.
Great Scott, bring me my bill, I say, and let's hear no more on't.
Young man, from your father's letter to me, I was taught to expect a well-bred, modest man as a visitor here. But now I find him no better than a coxcomb and a bully. But he'll be here himself presently, and shall hear more of it.
How's this? Sure I have not mistaken the house. Everything looks like an inn! The servants were uncoming, the attendants yawned, the barmaids due to attend... Oh, but she's here, and will further inform it. With us so fast, Charles, a word with you.
I am in a hurry. I believe he begins to find out his mistake, but it's too soon quite to undeceive him.
Answer, my dear child, answer me one question. What are you, and what may your business in this house be?
A relation of the family, sir.
What, a poor relation?
Aye, sir, a poor relation, appointed to keep the keys and to see that the guests want nothing in my power to give them.
That's it. You act as the barmaid of this inn.
An inn? Oh, Lord, what brought that into your head? One of the best families in the county. Keep it in. Oh, Mr. Hardcastle's house, an inn.
Mr. Hardcastle's house? Is this house Mr. Hardcastle's house, John?
Why, sure, whose else should it be?
So then what's out? Damn Napoleon Post on. Oh, confound my stupid head! I should have laughed at over the whole town. I should be stuck up in caricature and all the print shops. Picanissimo macaroni. To mistake this house and all others for an inn, and my father's old friend for an innkeeper. What a swaggering puppy must he take me for? What a silly puppy I do find myself. There again may I be hanged, my dear, though I mistook you for the barmaid.
Dear me. Dear me, I'm sure there's nothing in my behaviour to put me upon a letter.
Nothing, I didn't. No, nothing. I was in for a list of blunders, and I couldn't help making you a subscriber. My stupidity saw everything the wrong way. I mistook your assiduity for assurance, your simplicity for allurement. Oh, it's over. This house I no more show my face in.
I hope, sir, I have done nothing to disoblige you. I'm sure I should be sorry to affront any gentleman who has been so polite and said so many civil things to me. I'm sure I should be sorry if he left the family upon my account. I'm sure I should be sorry if people said anything amiss, for I have no fortune but my character.
By heaven, she weeps. This is the first mark of tenderness I ever had from a modest woman, and it touches me. Excuse me, my lovely girl. You are the only part of the family I leave with reluctance. But to be plain with you, the difference of our birth and our fortune make an honourable connection impossible, and I could never harbour a thought of seducing one that trusted in my honour, or bringing ruin upon one whose only fault was being too lovely.
Generous man. I now begin to admire him. Well, I'm sure my family is as good as Miss Hardcastle's, and though I am poor, that's no misfortune to a contented mind. And until this moment, I didn't think it was bad to lack fortune.
And why now?
suppose it puts me at a distance from one. If I had £1,000, I would give it all too.
This generosity bewitches me. So that if I stay, I am undone. I must make one bold effort and leave her. Your partiality in my favour, my dear, touches me most sensibly, and were I to live for myself alone, I could easily fix my choice. But I owe too much to the opinion of the world, too much to the authority of a father, so that I can scarcely speak it. It affects me. Farewell.
I never knew half his merit till now.
He shall not go. If I have the power or art to detain him, I'll still preserve the character in which I stoop to conquer, but I'll undeceive my papa, who perhaps might laugh himself out of his resolution.
You may steal for yourselves the next time. I've done my duty. She's got the jewels again, that's a sure thing. But she believes it was all a mistake of the servant.
But my dear cousin, sure you won't forsake us in this distress. If she really suspects that I'm going off, I shall certainly be locked up, or sent to my Aunt Pedigree's, which is 10 times worse.
To be sure, aunts of all kinds are damn bad things. But what can I do? Ah, here she comes. We must court for a bit or two more, for fear she should suspect us.
Well, I was greatly flattered, to be sure. But my son tells me it was all a mistake of the servants. I shan't be easy, though, however, until they're fairly married. Then let her keep her fortune. Oh, but what do I see? Fondling together as I'm alive. Oh, I've never seen Tony so sprightly before. Oh! Have I caught you? My pretty doves. Ah, villain and cooing and exchanging stolen glances and broken birds. Oh.
Cousin Tony promises to give us more of his company at home. Indeed, he shan't leave us any more. Will you, Cousin Tony?
Oh, no, she's a pretty creature. You know, I'd sooner leave my horse in a pound than leave you and you smile upon one so. Your laugh makes you so becoming.
Agreeable cousin, but who can help admiring that natural humour, that pleasant, broad, red, faultless. It's a bold face.
Pretty innocence.
Oh, I'm sure I always loved Cousin Con's brown eyes and her pretty long fingers.
Oh, he could charm the bird from the tree. I always say my son takes after his father, poor Mr. Lumpkin, exactly. Oh, my dearest Con, the jewels shall be yours incontinently. You shall have them.
Oh, golly!
Isn't he a sweet boy? He shall be married tomorrow, and we can put off the rest of his education until a fitter opportunity.
Where's the squire? Oh, I have got a letter for your worship.
Give it to my mother. She reads all my letters first.
In your own hands.
Who does it come from?
Your worship must mask that of the letter itself.
I could wish to know, though.
Dash it! Hang it all! A letter to him from Hastings, I know the hand. If my aunt sees it, we are ruined forever. But I have not told you, madam, of my cousin's smart answer just now to Mr. Gordon. He so laughed. You must know, madam, a little more this way, or he may hear us.
A damn cramped piece of penmanship as ever I saw in my life. I can read your print hands very well, but here there are such handles and shanks and dashes that one can scarce tell the head from the tail. To Anthony Lumpkin, Esquire. It's very odd. I can read the outside of my letters where my own name is well enough. But when I come to open it, it's all buzz. That's hard. It's very hard. And the inside of the letter is always the cream of the correspondent.
Very well. So my son was too smart for the philosopher.
Yes, madam, but you must hear the rest, madam. A little more this way, or he may hear us. You'll hear how he puzzled him again.
Well, he seems strangely puzzled now, methinks.
A damned up and down hand as if it was disguised in liquor. Dear Sir! Oh, that's that. And then there's an M and an S and a T, but whether the next be an Izzard or an R, confound me, I cannot tell.
How's that, my dear? Can I be of any assistance?
Pray, aunt, let me read it. Nobody reads a cramp hand better than I. Do you know who it is from?
Can't tell. Nobody writes me except Dick Ginger, the bookie.
Yes! The bookie. So it is.
Oh, it's just Dick.
Dear Squire, hoping that you're in health, as I am at this present.
Oh.
The gentlemen of the Shake Bag Club have cut the gentleman of Goose Green quite out of them. The odds 15 to 1, 3 to on, evens, odds, it's all about cocks and fighting. It's of no consequence. Here, put it up, put it up.
Oh, but I tell you, miss, it's of all the consequence in the world. I would not lose the rest of it for a guinea. Here, mother, do you make some? No consequence.
So how's this then? Dear Squire, I'm now waiting for Miss Neville with a vehicle at the bottom of the yard. But I find my tires yet unable to perform the journey. I expect you'll assist us with a fresh tire as you promised. Dispatch is necessary as the hag, the hag, your mother, will otherwise suspect yours, Hastings. Grant me patience. I shall run distracted. My rage chokes me.
I hope, madam, you'll suspend your resentment for a few moments and not impute to me any impertinence or sinister design that belongs to another.
Very finely spoken, madam. You are most miraculously polite and engaging, quite the very pink of courtesy and circumspection, madam. And as for you, you great ill-fashioned oaf with scarce sense enough to keep his mouth shut, are you too joined against me? But I shall defeat all your plots in an instant. So, instead of running away with your spark, prepare this very moment to run off with me. Your old Aunt Pedigree will keep you secure, I warrant me. And you too, sir, prepare to drive us through the night. Herr Diggory! I'll show you. I wish you better than you do yourselves.
So now I'm completely ruined.
Oh, that's a sure thing.
What else is Hardcastle? Ah!
What better could be expected from such a stupid fool? And after all the nods and
laws, miss. It was your own cleverness and not my stupidity that did your business. You were so nice and so busy with your shake bags and goose greens and clocks. I thought you could never be making believe.
So, sir, you have shown my letter and betrayed us. Was this well done, young gentleman?
Here's another. Ask Miss there who betrayed you. By God, it was her doing, not mine.
So I have been finely used here among you, rendered contemptible, driven into ill manners, despised, insulted, laughed at.
Here's another. We shall have old Bedlam broke loose presently.
And there, sir, is the gentleman to whom we all owe every obligation.
Ah, what can I say to him? A mere boy, an idiot who's ignorant in age or a protection.
Poor, insensible booby!
Absolute booby.
That would but disgrace correction!
And yet, with cunning and malice enough to make himself merry with all our embarrassments.
An insensible card!
Complete with tricks and mischief!
Oh, damn me, but I'll fight you both, one after the other.
As for him, he's below resentment. But your conduct, Mr. Hastings, requires an explanation. You knew of my mistakes, yet you would not undeceive me.
Tortured as I am by my own situation, is this a time for explanations? It is not friendly, Mr. Marlowe.
Mr. Marlowe, we never kept on your mistakes till it was too late to undeceive you. Be pacified.
Oh! My mistress requires you get ready immediately, madam. Your hat and things are in the hallway.
Well, I'll come presently.
Was it well done, sir, to assist in rendering me ridiculous, to hang me out for the scorn of all my acquaintance? Depend upon it, sir, I shall expect an explanation.
Was it well done, sir, if you're upon that subject, to deliver what I entrusted to yourself to the care of another? Sir!
Mr. Hastings, Mr. Marlowe, why will you increase my distress with this groundless dispute? I implore you, I entreat you.
Oh! Your coat, madam! My mistress is impatient.
I come.
You absolute wrong!
Be pacified. If I leave you thus, I should die with apprehension.
Your moth! Case! An umbrella, madam! The motor car is waiting.
You son
No! If you knew what a scene of constraint and ill nature lies before me, I'm sure it would convert your resentment into pity.
I'm so distracted with a variety of passions that I don't know what to do. Forgive me, madam. George, forgive me. You know my hasty temper and you should not exasperate it.
The torture of my situation is my only excuse.
Well, my dear Hastings, if you have that esteem for me that I think, that I'm sure that you have, your constancy for 3 years will but increase the happiness of our future connection.
Miss Neville! Constance, I say!
I'm coming! Well, constancy. Remember, constancy is the word.
My heart. How can I support this? To be so near happiness and such happiness.
You see now, young gentleman, the effects of your folly. What might be amusement to you is here disappointment and even distress.
My God, I've hit it! It's here! Meet me 2 hours hence at the bottom of the garden. And if you don't find Tony Lumpkin a more good-natured fellow than you thought for, I'll give you leave to take my best horse and Bet Bouncer into the bargain. Come along!
The peremptory tone in which he set forth his sublime command.
And the reserve with which I suppose he treated all your advances.
And yet he might have found something in me above a common innkeeper, too.
Yes, Dick, but he mistook you for an uncommon innkeeper.
Well, I'm in too good spirits to think of anything but joy. Yes, my dear friend, this union of our families will make our personal friendships hereditary. And though my daughter's fortune is but small...
Why, Dick, do you talk of fortune to me? My son is possessed of more than a competence already, and can want nothing but a good and virtuous girl to share his happiness and increase it. If they like each other, as you say
Yes,
they
man,
do.
I tell you, they do like each other. My daughter as good as told me so.
But girls are apt to flatter themselves.
I saw him grasp her hand with great friendship myself. And here he comes to put you out of your ifs. I warned him.
I come, sir, once more to ask pardon for my strange conduct. I can scarce reflect on my instincts without confusion.
Ah, boy, a trifle. You take it too gravely. An hour or two's laughing with my daughter will set all to rights again. I tell you, she won't like you the worse for it.
Sir, I shall be always proud of her approbation.
Approbation is but a cold word, Mr. Marlowe. I think you had something a little more than approbation thereabouts, you take me?
Really, sir, I have not that happiness.
Ah, boy, I'm an old fellow and I know what's what as well as you that are younger. I know what's passed between you. But, Mum...
Sure, sir, nothing has passed between us. But the most profound respect on my side and the most distant reserve on hers. Oh, you don't think, sir, that my impudence has been passed upon all the rest of the family?
Impudence? No, I don't think that. Not impudence, though girls like to be played with and rumpled a little. But she has told no tales, I assure you.
Well, I never gave her the slightest cause.
Well, I like modesty in its place well enough, but this is overacting. This is overacting.
Listen, sir, may I die if I ever told a mistruth in my life?
Look, I tell you, I know she don't dislike you, and as you like her...
Yes, sir, I protest, sir.
I see no reason why you shouldn't be joined as fast as the parson can time.
No, but hear me, sir.
Your father approves the match. I admire it. Any further delay will be making...
But why won't you hear me? Sorry. By all that's just and true, I never gave Miss Hardcastle the slightest mark of my attachment. Or even the most distant hint to suspect me of affection. We had but one interview, and that was formal, modest, and uninteresting.
This fellow's formal, modest. He's beyond bearing.
And you never grasped her hand or made any protestation?
As heaven's my witness, I came down in obedience to your commands. I saw the lady without emotion, and I parted without reluctance. Now I hope you'll exact no further proofs of my duty, nor prevent me from leaving a house in which I suffer so many mortifications.
I am astonished at the air of sincerity with which he parted.
And I'm astonished at the deliberate intrepidity of his assurance.
I dare pledge my life and honour upon his truth.
Here comes my daughter, and I dare stake my happiness upon her veracity. Kate, come hither, child. Sir Charles Marlowe. Now, Kate, answer sincerely and without reserve. Has Mr. Marlowe made you any professions of love and affection?
The question is very abrupt, sir, but since you require unreserved sincerity, I think he has.
Pray, madam, have you and my son had more than one interview?
Yes, sir, several.
You see?
Yeah, but did he profess any attachment?
A lasting one.
Did he talk of love?
Much, sir.
Amazing. And all this formally?
Formally.
Now, sir, I hope you're satisfied.
How did he behave, madam?
As most professed admirers do. Said some civil things of my face, spoke much of his want of merit and the greatness of mine, mentioned his heart, gave a short tragedy speech, and ended with pretended rapture.
I know his conversation amongst women to be modest and submissive. This full, ranting, canting motion in no way describes him.
Then what, sir, if I should convince you to your face of my sincerity, if in about half an hour you and my papa would place yourselves in the corner of the room, you will hear him declare his passion to me in person.
Agreed. And if I find him what you describe, then all my happiness in him must have an end.
If you don't find him what I describe, I fear my happiness must never have a beginning.
Oh, what an idiot am I! To wait here for a fellow that probably takes a delight in mortifying me. He never intended to be punctual, and I'll wait no longer. What do I see? It is he, and perhaps with news of my Constance, my honest squire. I now find you are a man of your word. This looks like friendship.
Aye, I'm your friend, and the best you have in the world if you knew but all. This driving by night by the by is cursedly tiresome. It has shook me worse than the basket of a bicycle.
Oh. But how? Where did you leave your fellow travellers?
Left them? Why, where should I leave them but where I found them?
Oh, this is a riddle.
Riddle me this then. What's that goes round the house?
Round the house.
And round the house.
And round the house.
But never touches the house.
I'm still astray.
Why, that's it, man. I've led them astray. By jingo, there's not a pond or puddle within 5 miles of the place, but they can tell the taste of them.
Oh, I understand. You took them in a round while they supposed themselves going forward, and so you have at last brought them home again.
I first took them down Featherbed Lane, where we stuck fast in the mud. I then rattled them crack over the stones of Up and Down Hill. I then introduced them to the gibbet on Heavy Tree Heath, and from that, with a circumdendibus, I fairly lodged them in the horse pond at the bottom of the garden.
But no accident, I hope.
No, only Mother is confoundedly frightened. She thinks herself 40 miles off. She's sick of the journey. So, if you're ready, you may whip off with cousin, and I'll be bound that no soul here can budge a foot to follow you.
My dear friend, how can I be grateful?
Aye, now it's dear friend, noble squire. Just now it was all idiot, cub, and run me through the guts.
The rebuke is just, but I must hasten to relieve Miss Neville. If you keep the old lady employed, I promise to take care of the young one.
Never fear me. She's here, vanish! She's got from the pond and is draggled up to the waist like a mermaid.
Oh, Tony. Shocked, battered to death. I shall never as I did. That last job that set us against the quicksand hedge has done my business.
Alack, Mother, it was your own fault. You would be for running away by night without knowing 1 inch of the way.
Oh, I wish we were home again. I never met with so many accidents in so short a journey. Drenched in the mud, overturned in a ditch, stuck fast in a slough, jolted to a jelly, and now at last to lose our way. Whereabouts do you think we are, Tony?
By my guess, we should be upon Crackskull Common, about 40 miles from home.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord, the most notorious place in the whole country. We only want a robbery now to make a complete night of it.
Don't be afraid, Mother, don't be afraid. 2 of the 5 bandits that lurked here are imprisoned for life. And the other 3 may not find us. Don't be afraid, Mother, don't be afraid. Ah! Is that a man with a gun? Oh, no, it's just a bit of tree. Don't be afraid, Mother.
Fear will certainly kill me.
Ah! Do you see anything like a black hat moving behind the thicket?
Oh, Dad.
Oh, no, it's just a stag. Don't be afraid, Mother, don't be afraid.
I see a man walking towards us. I'm sure if he perceives us, we are undone.
Father-in-law, by all that's unlucky, come to take one of his night walks. Ah, it's a highwayman with pistols as long as my arm. A damned ill-looking fellow.
Oh, heaven defend us. He approaches.
Do you hide yourself in that thicket and leave me to manage him. If there be any danger, I'll cough and cry. When I cough, be sure to keep close.
I'm mistaken, or I heard voices of people in want of help. Tony, is that you? I did not expect you so soon back. Are your mother and her charge in safety?
Very safe, sir, at my Aunt Pedigree's.
Oh, I find there's danger.
40 miles in 3 hours? That's too much, youngster.
Willing minds make short journeys, as they say.
Oh, sure, he'll give my one arm.
I heard a voice.
That was I, sir. I was talking to myself, sir. I was saying 40 miles in 4 hours was very good going. To be sure it was. I've got a sort of cold by being out in the air. We'll go in if you please.
But if you talk to yourself, you did not answer yourself. I'm certain I heard 2 voices, and I'm resolved to find the other one out.
Oh, Lord, he's going to find me out.
What need you go, sir, if I tell you? I'll lay down my life for the truth, sir. I'll tell you all, sir.
And I tell you, I will not be detained. I insist on seeing.
Oh, Lord, he's going to murder my poor boy, my darling. Here, good gentlemen, wet your rage on me. Take my money, my life, but spare this good young gentleman, spare my child, if you have any mercy.
My wife! From whence can she come, or what does she mean?
Take compassion on us, good Mr. Highwayman. Take our money, our watches, everything we have. But spare our lives. We will not bring you to justice. Oh, indeed we won't, good Mr. Highwayman.
I believe the woman's out of her senses. Dorothy, don't you know me?
Mr. Hardcastle?
Yeah.
Who would expect to see you here in this frightful place so far from home?
Sure, you've not lost your wits. So far from home and within 40 yards of your own door. This is one of your tricks, you young rascal. What, Dorothy, don't you know the gate and the mulberry tree? And don't you remember the horse pond, my dear?
Oh, yes, I remember the horse pond as long as I live. I just caught my death in it. And is it to you, you graceless varlet, I owe all this? I'll teach you to abuse your mother, I will!
My godmother, all the parish says you have spoiled me, and so you may take the fruits on it.
Oh, I'll spoil you, I will.
There's morality, however, in his reply.
My dear Constance, why will you deliberate thus? If we delay for a moment, all is lost forever. Pluck up a little resolution, and we shall soon be out of the reach of her malignity.
I find it impossible. My spirits are so sunk from the agitations I have suffered that I'm unable to face any new danger. 2 or 3 years' patience will at last crown us with happiness.
Such a tedious delay is worse than inconstancy. Let us fly, my charmer. Let us date our happiness from this very moment. Perish fortune. Love and content will increase what we possess beyond a monarch's revenue. Let me prevail.
No, Mr. Hastings, no. Prudence once more comes to my relief, and I will obey its dictates. In a moment of passion, fortune may be despised, but it ever produces a lasting repentance. I resolved to apply to Mr. Hardcastle's compassion passion and justice for redress.
But though he had the will, he has not the power to relieve you.
But he has influence, and upon that I am resolved to rely.
I have no hopes! But if you persist, I will reluctantly obey you.
What a situation I am in. If what you say appears, I must then find a guilty son. If what you say be true, I must then lose one that of all others I most wished for a daughter.
I am proud of your approbation, and to show I merit it, if you place yourselves as I directed, you will hear his explicit declaration. Oh, but he comes.
Now to your father, keep him to the appointment.
Though prepared for setting out, I come once more to take my leave. Nor did I, till this moment, know the pain I feel in the separation.
Well, I believe those sufferings cannot be very great, sir, which you can so easily remove. A day or two longer, perhaps, might lessen your uneasiness by showing the little value of what you now think proper to regret.
This girl every moment improves upon me. It must not be, madam. I've already trifled too long with my heart. My very pride begins to submit to my passion. The disparity of position and fortune, the anger of a parent, and the contempt of my equals begin to lose their weight. And nothing can restore me to myself but this painful effort of resolution.
Then go, sir. I'll urge nothing more to detain you. Though my family be as good as hers, you come down to visit, and my education, I hope, not inferior. What are these advantages without equal affluence? I must only be left with the mockery of your addresses, while all your serious aims are fixed on fortune.
Here, behind here.
Hush. I'll engage my Kate covers him with confusion at last.
By heavens, madam, fortune was ever my smallest consideration. Your beauty at first caught my eye, for who could see that without emotion? But every moment that I converse with you steals in some new grace, heightens the picture and gives it stronger expression. What at first seemed rustic plainness now appears refined simplicity. What seemed forward assurance now strikes me as the result of courageous innocence and conscious virtue.
What does it mean? He amazes me.
I told you it would be so. Hush.
I'm now determined to stay, madam. And I have too good an opinion of my father's discernment when he sees you to doubt his approbation.
No, Mr. Marlowe, I will not, cannot detain you. Do you think I could ever suffer a connection in which there is the smallest room for repentance? Do you think I would take the mean advantage of a transient passion to load you with confusion? Do you think I could ever relish that happiness that was acquired by lessening yours?
By all that's good, I can have no happiness but what's in your power to grant me. Nor shall I ever feel repentance, but in not having seen your merits before. I will stay, even contrary to your wishes, and though you should persist to shun me, I will make my respectful assiduities atone for the levity of my past conduct.
Sir, I must entreat you'll desist. As our acquaintance began, so let it end, in indifference. I may have given an hour or two to levity, but seriously, Mr. Marlowe, do you think I could ever submit myself to a connection in which I must appear mercenary and you imprudent? Do you think I could ever catch at the confident addresses of a secure admirer?
Does this look like security? Does this look like confidence? No, madam. Every moment that shows me your merit only serves to increase my diffidence and confusion. Here, let me continue, please.
I can hold no longer. Charles, Charles, how hast thou deceived me? Is this your disinterested conversation?
Your cold contempt, your formal interview, what have you to say now?
That I'm more amazement, what can it mean?
It means that you can say and unsay things at pleasure, that you can address a lady in private and deny it in public, that you have one story for us and another for my daughter.
Daughter, what? Kay, your daughter.
Why, yes, my only daughter. My Kate Joseph, should she be?
Oh, the devil!
Yes, sir. That very identical, tall, squinting lady. She that you addressed as the mild, modest, sentimental man of gravity, and the bold, forward, agreeable rattle of the ladies' club.
Dash it, there's no bearing this, it's worse than death.
To which of your characters, sir, will you give us leave to address you? As the faltering gentleman with looks to the ground who speaks just to be heard and hates hypocrisy, or as the loud, confident creature who keeps it up with Mrs. Mantrap and old Miss Biddy Buckskin till 3 in the morning?
Oh, well, that's not my noisy head. I've never attempted to be impudent yet, but I was not taken down. I must be gone.
By the hand of my body, you shall not, sir. I see it was all a mistake.
A mistake.
And I am delighted to hear it. I tell you, sir, you shall not. Kate will forgive you. You'll forgive him, won't you, Kate? We'll all forgive you. Take courage, man.
So, they're gone off. Well, let them go. See if I care.
Who's gone?
My dutiful niece and her gentleman, Mr. Hastings, from town. He who came down with our modest gentleman here.
Who? My honest George Hastings? As worthy a fellow as lives, and the girl could not have made a more prudent choice.
Then by the hand of my body, I am proud of the connection.
Well, he may have taken the lady, but he did not take her fortune. That remains in this family to console us for her loss.
Sure, Dorothy, you would not be so mercenary.
That's my affair, not yours.
But you know that if your son, when of age, refuses to marry his cousin, her whole fortune is then at her own disposal.
But he's not of age, and she did not think fit to wait for his refusal. Oh, return so soon. I begin not to like him.
For my late attempt to fly off with your niece, let my present confusion be my punishment. We are now come back to appeal from your justice to your humanity. By her father's consent, I first paid her my addresses, and our passions were first founded in duty.
Since his death, I have been obliged to stoop to dissimulation to avoid oppression. In an hour of levity, I was ready even to give up my fortune to secure my choice. But I am now recovered from the delusion, and hope from your tenderness what is denied me from a nearer connection.
Oh, right. This is just the whining end of a modern novel.
Be it what it will, I'm glad they've come back to claim their due. Tony, come here, little boy. Do you refuse this lady whose hand I now offer you?
What signifies my refusing? You know I can't refuse her till I'm of age, Father.
Well, I thought that concealing your age might be likely to conduce to your improvement. I could desire to keep it secret. But now I find that she puts it to a wrong use. And so I am forced to declare that you have been of age these 3 months.
Of age? Am I of age, Father?
For above 3 months.
Then you shall see the first use I'll make of my liberty. Witness all men by these presents that I, Anthony Lumpkin, Esquire, refuse you, Constantia Neville, spinster, for my true and lawful wife. So, Constance Neville may marry whom she pleases, and Tony Lumpkin is his own man again.
My worthy friend!
My undutiful officer.
Joy, my dear George, I give you joy sincerely. And could I prevail upon my little tyrant here to be less arbitrary, I should be the happiest man alive if you would return me the favour.
Come, madam. You are now driven to the very last scene of all your contrivances. I know you like him. I'm sure he loves you, and you must and shall have him.
And I say so too.
And Mr. Marlowe, if she makes as good a wife as she has a daughter, I don't believe you'll ever repent your bargain. And so to supper. Tomorrow the mistakes of the night will be crowned with a Merry Christmas morning. And, boy, as you have been mistaken in the mistress, my wish is that you may never be mistaken in the wife.